Welcome back to Ravens Roundup. I'm your host, Coach Evans. We got all of our co-hosts here, so I appreciate you guys for coming through. Before we get started, if you're in here and you have not tapped that like button, please go do so. Please do so right now. But again, we got our regular cast of characters, starting with our deep cover crew. We got Kerry and Chris. What's good with you, fellas? How y'all doing? How was the week?
Good, man. Always better with a Ravens win. Me and Coach, we were talking before this. I'm like, this could have been a lot different conversation if things would have went a little different. We'd have been pouring some dirt on some folks, but I'm glad we at least for another week not doing that.
Yeah, man. Same. I'm glad to be here. Chop it up after a W. It's always good to get to it after a win instead of a loss. So I'm ready to get into it.
Cool. And Jose,
what up? What's good?
How's things? How B's feeling after what transpired this week?
Look, win some, lose some. That's where the Panthers are this year. Like those losses don't really phase him. We talked about before the season. There's going to be games like that, and then there'll be some games that surprise them. Like they're still trying to find themselves. So B's pretty level-headed when it comes to his team.
So I should know that him and Jay should be cool with me because for the past couple of weeks, I have had the Panthers above us. So they can't say I have my purple shades on. So if both of them paid attention, to the power rankings,
I will say this though.
Panthers over us.
I will say this. I think that fan base got their eyes opened a little bit the same way we did in terms of their quarterback and how much they need their quarterback, because that game went down the same way Bryce Young was playing.
Agreed. That it was ugly because it was Andy Dalton.
Yep.
And he couldn't help him at all.
Yeah.
Sutton, what's good on your end, man? You, like I said, you've been grinding. Anytime John speak, you right behind him with breaking it down. So what's good on your end?
Everything's good over here. I'll definitely say this. I'm much more ecstatic to be here after a W as opposed to being here revving up those mock drafts here today. So I'm ready to get into it.
Hey, I'll tell you, Chris and Kerry, I was putting some offensive linemen in our group. Hey, I was loading them up because I was heavily thinking we was gonna be in draft season today. Like really thinking it's gonna be a draft season.
We got one more week. The way I see it, that's like for the rest of the season. One more week, go 1-0, 1-0, 1-0.
Yep. I agree.
That's how you got to look at it.
Chris, you got a super chat directed at you. It says, I thought Chris would be hosting ESPN right now. I don't know why JT said that, but I don't know, your girl not on that no more. She got her own show. Mina kind of on the side, so I don't really know why they kind of putting you up there unless it's somebody else on there that you got relations with that I don't know about.
Not that I know of. I know I'll last about 2 minutes on ESPN airwaves. And then it's gonna be that
Mr. Luke, Jose is not a Panthers fan. His brother is Brodney, and they do a show, Lunch Break High Take. So that's why I asked him about Brodney.
Yes, sir.
Jose's a Ravens fan. His brother Brodney is a Panthers fan. And I didn't believe it at first, but I'm almost sure now that this is Luke's dad. So I didn't want to, when I used to see him in the chat, and I didn't want to ask and kind of be that guy, but I've heard other people like address him as Tyler's dad. So I'm going to assume that's who that is. Like I said, I ain't want to be that guy and ask, but
yeah,
it is what it is. So appreciate. Hey, he always here. Always coming through. I just, like I said, I didn't want to be that guy and ask. So we got some. He said I am. So now it's confirmed. It's confirmed.
That's what's up.
So I appreciate him coming through. Let's get into our topics for today. And I sent you guys a kind of a feeler of it. But we'll start with this one right here. And obviously that's Marlon on the picture. It said, "Oh my, first. Add this back. Yeah. What about the thumbnail?
Okay.
Look at the faces.
I like
like
that.
that.
I like
I'm glad we Nate.
So on purpose, so it wouldn't be nobody saying nothing crazy. I put myself on the undrafted free agent. Put myself on undrafted free agent. So I made sure y'all got the better players because I'm a team guy. I'll play the background and I'll do the dirty work. I'll throw the forearms and I'll hard foul somebody. Y'all go for the points. How we do that. And Chris and Kerry, y'all got a pick. Should have been a pick 6.
Hey man, beggars can't be choosers, man. We
Yeah.
happy with it just a pick.
Right. Yeah.
All right. So first question. What did this win mean after the 4-game losing streak, and how might it shift the team's mindset? And we'll start with you, Sutton.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was huge for the mindset. You could see how it kind of sparked the new kind of season, right? Like I saw Kyle Van Noy talking about it on his podcast the other day. He was like, it feels like a fresh start for this Ravens team. And like you can obviously tell that after them going through that 4-game losing streak, getting that bounce back victory against the Bears in the fashion that they did, winning in all 3 phases of the game, that was huge. That was absolutely huge for them. So I think it does a lot for the mindset of this team. Like I said before, to lead the episode with, you got to go 1-0 every single week for the rest of the season. And I think this was a really good start.
Cool. Anybody else want to tackle that one?
Yeah, I agree. Like you said, it's kind of like a brand new start, like a new slate. And before we came on, something was like, just looking for the week, looking to go 1-0,
Mhm.
and that's the mindset that you have to have. You can't be like, well, we got to dig ourselves out of this hole to climb back, and that kind of thinking is just it's not going to be beneficial if you think that way. If it's just a week at a time, it's more beneficial. But I think this is a game that can catapult them into the rest of the season.
Mhm.
One, you didn't have Lamar, obviously. We all know that. But 2, the game started with adversity.
Sure did.
It was 2 pretty easy drives down the field. And then on offense, there was nothing going on offense.
Mm-hmm.
They could have easily just packed it in and been like, oh, man, here we go. Here we go again. So I like the way that they answered to that early adversity in the game. And they, definitely bent, but didn't break.
Mm-hmm.
And then the offense was able to start clicking and getting into a groove. And we saw how the rest of the game played out. So it was a good win. And hats off to everybody, coaches, players, hats off to everybody. It was a good game all around.
I think that those first 2 drives, holding them to field goals, won the game. And I was trying to figure out a way to make that statement a video, but I couldn't figure out enough to, like, if I just ran them 6 plays, I didn't feel like it would have had an impact. But in my opinion, those stops to hold them to field goals won the game for us. Because 14-0 is even 10-0, a lot different than 6-0.
Right.
You play like you said, you play like trash the first quarter, and it was 1 play away from winning.
And
Jose,
those 2 drives.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I say. Like those 2 drives that you're talking about, like what was different for me that I could see was their body language. They weren't sitting around there like, well, what do we do? Oh, you didn't get your man, or this is and that. Like it seemed like they were all on the same page. There wasn't any panic. They're hyping themselves up on every stop, right? Yeah, like that's what it takes, and they were tackling.
Right. Care?
Yeah, I mean, I think this one hits a little differently. I agree with everybody's points prior to this, but I think this one hits a little differently because it was without Lamar. I forgot the analyst that said this, but he was kind of saying it in a joking manner, talking about the Giants situation at quarterback before they went from rush to dart. And he's like, look, for the coaching staff, for the GM, every rush loss counts as 1 loss. But every Jackson Dart loss counts as a half a loss. and so they need to get to that half a loss as soon as possible. And I feel like this is kind of in the opposite direction. This Snoop win is like 1.5 for everybody involved to keep, this season, afloat. I mean, like I was telling Coach, man, I think I would be asking for a raise. Like, nobody is still here if I don't get this win. So
right.
I think this was a huge win, and like Chris said, this could catapult them into something else. Still got to do week at a time. Can't get too far ahead, but the first goal was to get the win this week, and then they were able to do that.
Got it. So JT dropped another two, Chris. He said Sports Center retweeted Chris. I seen it on IG. What's behind? You know what he talking about? What's going on?
I don't know anything about Sports Center.
JT, you're gonna have to hit us on Twitter and so you can let us know, because all of us, I think all of us are clueless. I speak for, unless it's a different Chris, but I hope it's our Chris.
Yeah, only thing I got, I don't have anything sports related on IG, just hoes.
He said he last 2 minutes of Sports Center. He meant 1 minute.
Right. Yeah, it was some innuendo in there. I ain't pick it up until you see. We got a 5 from Kwame. He says, anybody think Cooper's better than Huntley? Shout out to Jose.
Yeah, I stand.
What was that about? What's that about?
No, I still stand on that. The stats and the records show it. But does Huntley fit this team better? Yeah, but that was part of the problem that I had with how this team was set up. Right, you're setting this team up for a quarterback that can make plays with his legs. That's not good scheming. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you should be able to have somebody like Cooper Rush come in here and take over and win a couple of games with the game plans you have. But everything blew up in their face. They needed to go Tyler Huntley to help with that aspect of it, to keep things going. But that's a failure of the team. But no, overall, I mean, look, the numbers show it, right? The stats speak for themselves. I don't have to defend it. It is what it is.
Me and Kerry was actually talking about that before you guys got in here. Like, with the way this team is built, you have to have that style of quarterback. Yep. Because no standstill quarterback, and this is a little bit defending Cooper Rush, just a little bit, but no standstill quarterback will have any success behind our offensive line right now. No, you got to be able to make a guy miss and make a play outside the pocket, because we're not protecting good enough for a guy just to stand there and make throws, or we don't have a good enough number one to just like Joe doing, just like F it, Jamar down there somewhere.
Right.
Yeah. So you got to have a guy that can move and make plays. You just got to, and even if it ain't Lamar, the backups got to be able to move and make plays. So honestly, the quarterback room should be full of athletes, Lamar, Snoop, and a third athlete, because it's just the way the team built. You got to have that. No standstill quarterback will survive behind our O-line right now. All right, we got another one from Travis. He says, blessings to all of y'all. Appreciate you, Travis. And I think I saw something else down here at the bottom as well. I want to skip. Oh, Tila dropped 10. She said, salute to y'all. Appreciate you. Got her glass up, ready, sipping. The creator of the sippers comment. And we got a new YouTube member, Miss Fancy Pants. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thank you. Let me see. One more thing, then we can move on. A good stat from Mr. Luke. Ravens have only lost 4 games in the last 5 years where they have completed the game with no turnovers. That's a big part of it. Hold on, because that's something we normally don't do. We normally don't turn it over, and we normally don't get turnovers. And that happened Sunday. That all happened Sunday. All right, let's go to number 2. All right. Was this a reset moment or just a blimp in a rough season for the Baltimore Ravens? Is this a real opportunity to go forward, or is it just like, hey, they just beat the Bears because they wasn't ever that good? I'll start with you, Kerry.
So I'm gonna say I'm not sure yet. Right. It has the potential to be. I thought, like Monken specifically, I thought he was excellent. I thought he called a game that was perfectly tailored to the situation that they're in right now. Especially looking at on the other side, Dennis Allen's a good defensive coordinator. You know, he throws a lot at you. So I thought he kept an answer for Snoop. You know, when he had to make throws, Snoop was able to do them with relative ease because, Monken gave him an answer. Why I say I'm not sure, got to give it a little bit of a grain of salt. The Bears was basically missing their whole secondary in this game. The Bears came in with the 28th ranked pressure rate. So, I mean, those two things combined, you should have success. So, not to, down this performance because it was a good performance, on a lot of different fronts. But, again, keeping up with the theme of 1 week at a time, I want to see them stack it. But this was definitely a step in the right direction from a standpoint of production, but also from a standpoint of directional offense.
Agreed. Chris?
Yeah, I wouldn't say like a complete reset, but it this could be a momentum builder. So right now that snowball that's rolling down the hill is tiny right now, but with a game like this, it can develop into one of those big snowballs that's rolling down the hill, and I think this kind of game can catapult them into the rest of the season, especially with Lamar coming back, short week, everybody's healthy, which is
Mm-hmm.
amazing, which is crazy. Um, I think this game, and then plus if because we all know that it's out there, everything is floating out there. If they can make a big time trade on the defensive line or offensive line, if they can pull a big time trade off, that's just gonna like everybody's juices are going to be flowing after that because there's going to be a sense of, okay, now we're ready. Now we're sitting up in our seat ready to game.
Did you say O-line?
Hey, I'm holding out hope.
Jose?
Yeah, I'll say it's a reset moment right now. Will that result into a better season? I don't know, right?
Mhm.
But definitely they hit the reset button. They're coming off the bye. They came with a game plan. They were pumped up, and they executed. And also, everybody else in the division lost. So we're
Right.
in a position to where all we have to do is win. There are no excuses. We don't need help from anybody right now. We do what we have to do. We're in the playoffs. We win the division if we do what we have to do. So it is week to week, but it is reset in a sense that we don't need anybody's help. We handle business, and there's no excuses going forward. Everybody understands what they need to do. I think they needed to win this game without Lamar so they can prove to themselves that they can play ball,
Mhm.
right? Especially on the defensive side. If you believe the reports from the Baltimore Sun and the Baltimore Banner about the defensive players don't really put it on Zach Orr, they put it on themselves. Okay, well then you gotta go out there and play.
Yep.
Right.
So. That when you say that, there's no excuse. You can't say nothing about the coach no more. You can't say nothing about scheme. You can't say nothing about nothing. It's on you. Once you come out and say that, I ain't gonna say the coach off the hook, but you kind of
And don't say I don't know what's going on. You
right.
better know what's going on.
Right.
Yeah.
Carrie?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Sutton. I'm sorry, my bad. Sutton.
Oh no, yeah. I was just gonna say I agree with Jose on this one wholeheartedly. I think it's a reset moment. Absolutely. I mean, you look at the Ravens' next 5 opponents. Just in that, I mean, you've got the Dolphins coming up, Vikings, Browns, Jets, and Bengals. Don't want to overlook any one team because again, any given Sunday, we know how that works. We know how this works in football. However, what that team showed me against the Chicago Bears, and Kerry, you make a good point. Yeah, they were banged up in the secondary. They were losing defensive linemen pretty much every quarter. It felt like. However, that Ravens team minus Lamar Jackson, it was a night and day difference from what we saw the product with Cooper Rush out there. Tyler Huntley made sure that the Ravens actually had an optimal performance. And the reason why I say I use the word optimal is because, with Cooper Rush, we were at our floor. We were performing at our floor. With Lamar Jackson, you have the potential to perform at your ceiling for this Ravens team. But without Lamar Jackson, you don't want to be at your floor, but you're probably not going to reach your ceiling. So you need to get somewhere in that middle, optimal. Right. And that's what the Ravens did on Sunday against the Bears. And I think that if they could take that, use that momentum, of course, they're getting their quarterback back. Like Jose mentioned, everybody else in the division lost. So they're doing us favors across the AFC North. You have a weak schedule coming up, quarterbacks coming back. I think it's time to make a run. I'll just say that.
Like right now, if you guys can see it, we're sitting at 12 in the conference. And to be in the playoffs right now, we're only 2 games, and that's behind Pittsburgh. And we hadn't played them at all. And they got a monster little gauntlet coming up themselves. So there's even though I know me and you, Sutton talked about like after the bye having a real chance to get in it, it's legit for real now, especially with them losing and us getting this victory. If we can rattle off about 3 or 4, we should be right in the middle of this thing as far as
Absolutely.
getting in. And obviously, I mean, honestly, we might have a chance wild card wise too, because the wild card team ain't but 3 games ahead of us. So them teams gonna have to battle each other. So we
For sure.
could possibly make a push to not only win a division, and if we don't win a division, be a wild card team. It's just you got to stack wins. It's a game at a time, like y'all said, a play at a time. But that's the standings right there, and it's really like honestly the teams that are out of it are completely out of it. I would say the Jets and the Tennessee, because they don't have anything to project going forward. Even though we only got one more win than them, but like Cleveland, the Jets, and Tennessee, they ain't got nothing to project for going forward. So I guess you can put Miami in that boat too, but we'll see how Thursday goes before I say that, because I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to be like Miami's a legit, like definite win, because you in Miami, you never know what can happen. And I'm sure like our Florida players got a lot of distractions with people trying to get tickets, short week, and all kind of stuff. So we won't put that past Miami. We ain't gonna look at them like a homecoming game. All right, talking about Snoop a little bit. Snoop stepped up for the injured Lamar Jackson and delivered a solid outing, 17 for 22, 186 yards, 53 yards rushing, despite pressure on him. And that's why I talk about us not needing a standstill quarterback. Can you guys comment on Snoop's performance from your point of view? And we'll start with you, Chris.
Man, shout out to Snoop. He looked great.
Teeth or in the game?
What do you mean?
his teeth or in the game?
Damn, had to come after the man's dentures.
No, you ain't seen him.
I saw him, man. Shit, everybody can see. Ray Charles can see them.
Okay.
But shout out to Snoop, man. I thought he performed really well. Obviously we know he's more mobile than Cooper Rush is, but I just thought standing there, delivering in the pocket, delivering with anticipation. I thought he had some really, really good throws on tape. That was a very, very impressive performance by him, and just to be able to come in, being the third guy most of the year, like that's what you're coming into Baltimore as, really. They have Cooper Rush, who they gave a lot of money to, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. So now it's your turn, and you're like, all right. And you could tell he was just comfortable. Like there was no, oh, I don't really know what I'm doing, or I don't feel comfortable. It was just he was just out there. He was just out there hooping,
Yep.
and he was comfortable in the system, comfortable around the players around him, comfortable to the guys who he was throwing the ball to. And there was so much decisiveness with him. And that's so difficult to see from a backup quarterback, because usually they'll be, second guessing themselves, a little bit hesitant, but he was hitting that back foot, and he was delivering some really nice passes there. And on the scramble, it like 0.2 seconds for him to be like, oh no, they're bringing the house. Let me get the hell out of here. And so, just the way that he was processing everything on Sunday, it was beautiful to watch. So I was really happy for Snoop.
He played like a mature individual. Mature individual.
Definitely.
It didn't look like the old Snoop. That matter of fact, honestly, he didn't look like the Snoop that played in them Cleveland Brown games in the preseason. He looked like a totally different dude.
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
I was impressed with his passing too. He made the right reads. Good accurate passes. That one to D-Hop at the end. That was great.
The Bears people complaining about that. I don't know if you know it or not.
I don't care.
Well,
I don't care.
TJ Watt was talking about it.
What'd you say, Sutton?
No, I said they real upset about that one. I saw it all over Twitter. All over Twitter. They pissed.
Yeah. Go ahead, Sutton, with your comments about Snoop.
About Huntley? Yeah, I mean, so I think that it's always felt like it's meant to be having Tyler Huntley, the backup quarterback in Baltimore, especially under the Lamar Jackson era, just because of, that one word that I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, continuity, right? It was a head scratcher for me, just like everybody else, I'm sure, when Eric DaCosta made the move to bring in Cooper Rush for X amount of dollars. I think it was like, a 2-year deal for $5 million a year, something like that, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
In hindsight, which we know is always 2020, that was the worst move. I thought when we signed Cooper Rush, I was a little bit indifferent about it, because I thought that maybe he would just be able to raise the floor of this Ravens team without Lamar Jackson, but we saw that the floor literally went through the foundation with Cooper Rush starting at quarterback. So Tyler Huntley, he came in, like you said, he looked poised, he looked comfortable. Steve Loop said in the chat, he looked like he was having fun, and that's what you like to see. Jose said
That's
he
the
was making
comment I
some
was
really
looking
good
for.
throws. Yeah, he was making some really good throws, like some layered throws too. I'm talking between the linebackers and the DBs. It looked really, really good. And then of course the running as well. I saw somebody in the chat say, they were upset when he ran into Zay Flowers on that big run he had. He could have maybe cut it outside and maybe scored. Who knows? But I don't know, man. For a Lamar Jackson light, which is what I like to call Tyler Huntley, he really did his thing, man. He looked comfortable out there, and hey, look, more power to him. He should be a permanent QB too, as long as Lamar is here. Period.
So is that Kroger sugar, or is that what's the Walmart brand of sugar? Great value.
Great value.
That's what Snoop is.
Basically, great value Lamar, and it's no knock. It's
Right.
no knock, because look, whenever you need him, he's right there. You know what I'm saying? Walmart 24 hours too in some areas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can call on his name. That's all I'm saying.
Nah, since you say Walmart, since COVID, our Walmarts are not 24 hours no more. I don't know about y'all's. They used to be, but since COVID, they close at 11, if I'm not mistaken. I went there one morning thinking I was going to get something before work at like 5. You was darkness over that joint, boy.
Down here in Texas, they're open 24 hours.
Oh, but you got that good Heb though.
HEB, love it.
You got that Heb. I love it. Hey, that's the only place I get my coffee from.
I like the salsa.
Hey, I don't blame you.
That's the only place I get my coffee,
man.
And they got the little hot food station in there too with the little Tex-Mex.
Yep.
I go to San Antonio, boy, it gets down. I go to San Antonio, I eat like a pig. I go to Heb almost every day.
They do
every day. Who did I miss anybody on Snoop? Kerry, you go on Snoop?
Yeah, I can jump in real quick on Snoop. I thought like this was as good as a performance that you could have asked for under the circumstances, man. I thought he was really composed and made good decisions. He added that running element. And, again, the way Monken tied everything together, like just kudos to him, and kudos to Monken. I'm going to jump in the ring with my man Jose and fight back a little bit, too, on the Rush versus Snoop thing. Snoop should definitely be the number 2. But I think when you look at Rush, I think they're largely the same caliber of guy, and statistically, you would give Rush the edge. I think they probably signed Rush with the thought of a little bit of a almost like a progression, almost like a evolution. We want to try to win different ways if Lamar was ever to go down. And they just aren't built that way. They don't have the interior offensive line as far as the pass blocking. They don't have, catch point winners besides D-Hop, and D-Hop isn't, playing a full complement of snaps. It just isn't a good fit for Rush. Now, like I said on Twitter, I'm not getting on no soapbox for no damn Cooper Rush. I'm not putting my reputation on the line for that. But at the same time, you watch him in those starts in Dallas. I'm not just convinced that this guy's just all of a sudden just trash. Like, it's the system he was placed in, the situation he was placed in is not conducive with what he's going to be able to do best. Now, if he had better pass protection in the interior offensive line, if D-Hop was playing, 70, 80% of the snaps instead of 10, 20% of the snaps, maybe we're having a different conversation, but that's not what this is. And so because the situation is what it is, it has to be Snoop. And, shout out to him for, stepping up to the plate and keeping the season alive.
Agreed. 100%. Hey, shout out to Snoop, man. Hopefully he won't be called on the rest of this season. But if he do, I hope he comes out with an effort like that. And y'all tell me if y'all agree. I feel like he made one bad decision and it didn't hurt him.
The one to Byard.
Oh yeah.
Yes. That.
Yeah.
And not necessarily because of the what the score was and the timing in the game. Because if they picked that, and it's probably a pick 6, the only person probably would have called him a Snoop. That they would have been leading. Yeah. But luckily he didn't, and then we scored, and then we went up by two scores. But I think that's the only bad decision he made all game. And then that play where like it looked like Zay, he ran into Zay. The DB just said, "Forget this," and he ran straight through Zay, and Snoop didn't have a chance to react to it. The DB just looked at Zay and like, "I'm gonna run through you, lit man," and ran him right into Snoop. Snoop didn't have a chance to cut off because initially it looked like Snoop didn't know where he was going, but when I went back and looked at it, the DB was like, "Man, F this, yeah," just ran through Zay.
I hate that for Zay, man. I hate that for Zay.
He makes up for it on other routes. You know, hey, if he wouldn't have got that first down from dancing early in that game, I would have been
boy.
Oh man,
oh, that had me stressed. I'm like, if you don't get your ass north, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, he was supposed to stop that
like,
shit this
it's not like he
year.
jumped back. Like he jumps back like 3 or 4 yards when he jumps
right.
back.
Yeah. I can't take it, man. That shit irritates me to no end.
Because the thing is, and if he catch it and just turn and go, and I've seen it happen like all throughout football. If he catch that little quick route and just turn and go, a lot of times them two dudes hit each other. They don't hit you. If you catch the ball and get straight up field, because they coming so hard, they can't change direction. A lot of times they hit each other, and you'll probably be tackled, but the impact will take place behind you when you dive forward. So
yeah, and you know, I think Zay Flowers, he could really benefit from maybe getting with Keaton Mitchell and like talking about some straight line speed. You know what I mean? Because they both got it, but only one of them use it. So yeah.
Now I will say, I'm glad you brought that up. I think Zay has 100 times more wiggle than Keaton.
Yeah, for sure.
I think Keaton's more like a straight line. I can outrun you in the 40, but as far as getting in and out of tight spots, that's tough for Keaton because it takes him a minute to get it up. Like Keaton would be for analogy, Keaton would be a great 200-yard runner and not necessarily a 100-yard runner. Like that long speed kicks in at like 80 meters, and then he just run from it, kind of like Noah Lyles. That's why Noah getting his butt beat in 100, but then you get in 200, he mopping folks up.
Yeah,
and I think that's the difference between those two guys right there. But number 4 says Derrick Henry had had 2 rushing touchdowns and passed a major milestone. He passed Sweetness to be number 4 or 5 on the all-time leading touchdown rushers. So what does this game say about the run game, even though his yards per carry were at like 3.4? What do you guys think about the run game as a whole?
It's cool.
Care.
I mean,
we go care.
I jump in on it. So first, like, shout out to Derrick Henry for eclipsing that milestone. Like, we talking about a running back position where more and more terms are being dictated to these running backs as opposed to the other way around. So for him to continue to be that outlier is huge. And everybody, once you hit 28, 29, 30, they want to put you in the grave, man. And he's showing like he still got some years left in him. So like, first and foremost, shout out to him for that. And then as far as the running game as a whole, I think, Coach, you pointed this out well on Twitter. The diet of the runs is what's been most impressive. They kept it up this week. It's where they need to be. It's the wheelhouse they need to live in. Heavy outside zone. And then, what you're able to do off of that with the play action. And then with the pocket movement, I thought was great with that too. Getting Snoop outside and everything that they were able to set up off of that. All of that just insulates Snoop and keeps everything on schedule. And you don't need to insulate a Lamar, but you can do some of this stuff to keep everything on schedule, the offense as a whole. So, I think that's going to be big going forward. I think they got to keep that in mind, keep this run diet that they've had the last 2 weeks for sure.
And if you don't know, people, it's been heavy outside zone, heavy inside zone, and then they've been mixing it up with a little power counter, duo trap, and all that other little power runs they got. But I'll wait till the end. Go ahead, son.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to Derrick Henry in the run game, I think that one of the bigger differences, and it may not have made a huge impact against the Bears, but I think that we saw signs of what's to come in the future. Number 42, Patrick Ricard.
That's what I was going. That's why. What
he does for the run game. There's nothing that I love to see more on my television screen than an obvious rundown, right? Heavy package out there, and you have Patrick Ricard lined up as on at the end of the line, like tight end, and then motions inside, and then just bam takes on the guy in the B gap, and Derrick Henry's just like, all right, I'm gonna just go right behind you, brother, and like it's an easy 2 to 3 yards expected yards per carry with Patrick Ricard. I would love to see the difference. Yeah, I love this guy so much, man. I would love to see the difference between the first 7 weeks of the season from here on out with Patrick Ricard. It's going to be a night and day difference. And it's just the reason why it's so important is because Derrick Henry, while he hasn't really popped off any huge runs, I don't even think we need those all that much. Right. We need sustained drives. Give me a run for 4. Give me a run for 6. Give me another run for 4. You know what I mean? And a guy like Patrick Ricard mixing it up with the blocking inside, he really springs that. And eventually, what you're going to see is Derrick Henry start to, get you off, get off those big runs. So I love what I saw from Derrick Henry. That last touchdown that he had where he bounced it all the way out to, I think, the 10-yard line. I think they started on like the 2 or something like that. He gets stuffed up the middle. They took away the middle. He bounces it all the way out around the 10. I don't know if the Bears just kind of quit by that moment or what, but Patrick Ricard, he was actually critical on that play as well. So I can't speak highly enough about where this run game is headed. Still needs to be some fixes across the offensive line. Some of the guys in there run blocking, Rosengarten, and even Voorhees. Falele, I'm not gonna Falele farm. A lot of people do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna be that guy. Falele, he actually looks good in spots. He'll whiff a few times, but I'm not gonna be a Falele farmer. This run game does look like it's on the right track, though.
Yeah, I think that Falele farm has a monopoly. I think there's a monopoly on that. It's between 2 people. There's a monopoly on the Falele format between 2 people. One that we see all the time and one that we see sparingly. But those 2, they Falele form a lot. That's a great term, son. That's a great term. What else what you think about who I missed? Chris and Jose? Y'all go.
No, the only thing I want to add to it is, I agree with everything Kerry and Sutton said. I'll just say Snoop also played a factor in it as well. Because, again, the way our line is, Lamar has always been the X factor in this run game. I mean, he until Derrick Henry got here, he was the leading rusher every year. That threat of the quarterback running is what kind of freezes defenses a little bit. When you got Cooper Rush in the game, there's no threat there. You can just focus on Derrick Henry. So putting Snoop in there and bringing back Pat Ricard greatly helps with the run game. And I think you'll see him play even better on Thursday with Lamar back in the lineup.
I agree. Chris?
Yeah, I mean, like that clip that you playing a Project Pat, that other dude with the 3 names, I don't even remember his name, but he would just get crumpled up in the hole. Salute to him, valiant effort. He's a tight
playing
end.
out of position too.
Yeah, he's a tight end. He's not a fullback, so shout out to him and the work that he put in. But Project Pat is a fullback, and it showed on Sunday. And it, they eased him into it. So I'm happy to see how his role will grow and how much he'll be able to help that short area run game, because that is a spot where they've been struggling all year, and he can most definitely help. I mean, he did the other day. So I'm encouraged by having Project Pat back, but hopefully the O-line can somehow get it together. Maybe we see a Emory Jones. I don't know, but hopefully.
Well, we see Emory Jones this week. You are sending me lotto numbers if we see Emory Jones. I'm gonna force you to send me them lotto numbers this week if we see Emory Jones. Still want to talk about the run game and kind of forget the question on this one. We finally got to see Keith Mitchell. What do you make of how long it took us to find a way to use him, and then what did you see out of him? And I'll start with you, Kerry.
Hey man, pressure bust pipes. We can't be turning up our nose at players that can be impactful. And so I think they got into enough of a hole where they realized, hey man, we gotta get explosive players to football. So hopefully they keep that up going forward. But he's just he's too talented not to tap into that, man. You know, and I'm a guy that loves Justice Hill, love what he brings to the table, and keep him involved too. You know, obviously, you know, Henry is the go-to, the workhorse here, but if you can find a couple Keaton Mitchell touches, you need to figure out a way to do that, because again, he's a dude that it ain't like he's not a rhythm back. You don't need to give him the ball 15 times. You give him the ball 3 times, and one of those could be an 80-yard house call. So you know, always find a way to get him involved. I don't care who's there.
Chris?
I mean, I have never understood this. Like, I just don't get it. He's the perfect lightning to Derrick Henry's thunder, and that's something that we saw this past week. Is you all right? You're going to be anticipating, you know, all right, we need to play heavy in the box. Okay, you're going to do that now. Here's a guy who will destroy angles and who will destroy you if you take the wrong step. And to me, it was a no-brainer to have him implemented into the game plan. Now, I'm not saying take away 15 snaps from Derrick Henry and give them all to Keaton. Keaton is not that guy. I mean, look at D-Hop. Look what D-Hop is doing with his limited opportunities. Keaton is a guy who can maximize every touch that he has, just with the speed that he has, the speed, the vision, the quickness. And I feel like that's something that should have been utilized more throughout the season. And I'm glad they're finally doing it, but we need to keep it going. This can't just be a one-time thing. I think he's somebody that definitely needs to get more touches throughout the game.
So,
no, I mean, you know, kind of like what I was saying before, Keaton Mitchell, man, that straight line speed, it is still there. I kind of doubted when he was, you know, kind of bragging in the offseason about reaching that top speed again. I didn't really believe it, you know, because of just how severe his injury was. I was like, there's no way. But the way this guy is running around linebackers and DBs, man, yeah, I mean, obviously, like Chris said, you're not going to be able to take away a lion's share of the carries from Derrick Henry and give them to Keaton Mitchell, because he's not that guy. But he is a guy, and you can see it every time he gets the football. Every time he pops off a big run, you can tell how happy, how grateful he is to get those carries. He only had 4 on Sunday, but he averaged 10 yards a carry, ended with 45, and pretty much every single time, you know, on these outside runs and the tosses and things like that, he was just beating guys around the edge. So that change of pace that you get with him, yeah. And you know what's funny? I remember when Todd Monken originally gotten hired, he said something that always kind of stuck with me. It resonated with me, especially at the time. He said that as an offensive coordinator, what he wants to do is make teams defend every single inch of the field, right? That was what he said. And having a Keaton Mitchell back there, a weapon like that, who can literally stretch the field and honestly catch defenses off guard. Because before it was either, okay, Henry's in the game, they're running. Justice Hill's in the game, they're passing. But when you throw in Keaton Mitchell, it throws in an extra little wrinkle, an extra little thing that defensive coordinators have to prepare for, that the defensive personnel has to kind of like get in their head. Okay, when this guy comes in the game, he's got some top end speed. We got to make sure we're on the outsides and we got that covered. That is, I mean, hey, look, man, if you don't find a way to use him, and again, somebody said in the chat something about ego, because John Harbaugh came out earlier this week and said that, oh yeah, I mean, Keaton Mitchell, he's earned his keep now. And it's like, yeah, he could have, it's week 1, John. Like, what do we have him healthy scratches for? It just didn't make any sense to me. And it's just another one, yet another head scratching coaching decision. Again, with the Cooper Rush thing, you know, and not having Tyler Huntley, or at least having some sort of QB competition, or I don't know, man. Some of the coaches' decisions are weird to me, very, very weird to me. But at least it's a net positive that we're going to see more of Keaton Mitchell. They featured him today on their social media, because I think we're wearing the all white jerseys on Thursday Night Football. They featured him on, you know, on the little poster for that. So maybe that means he'll get 5-6 carries. Who knows? But I hope so. Cool.
Hold that.
No, I'm just gonna add a little bit to what everybody said. I mean, everything's been covered, but you mentioned ego. That's exactly what's kept him out of this game. This has been Harbaugh's MO for years. Like, he's that, you don't tell me how to run my team, coach. Right? Even though, you know, even when the obvious is you know, slapping him in the face, right? Like, yeah, he should have been playing. You're making up all these excuses to not get him in the game, but desperation time. Your back is against the wall, and you gotta make sure you exert every option possible to win this game. You're gonna have them out there, right? And that was one of the blessings of Lamar being out and this team trying to find themselves. Is you got to they got to dig deep and see who all can contribute in this game or in this for the rest of the season. And this game showed that Keaton Mitchell is somebody you need to have out there. There's no way he can be inactive after this past game.
Agreed. Now, I used to say, I knew why he was inactive because of special teams. I never said I agree with it. So I know somebody, because people love gotcha moments. I did say that I understand why he's inactive. I never said I agree with it. And
you said at the time, I remember that. Yeah.
Had to do with special teams. So people with the gotcha moments. me and World Class having this debate back here. He said he ran a 4.2, and I called him cap. So he said I ain't believe him. What I mean, 4.2 is that's rare air. World Class now. That's I ain't got close to running 4.2 even with my shoes off in the grass, and I was pretty fast. But Chris Johnson and Keaton, I don't know if that's two different speeds. That's two different speeds because Chris Johnson had shifty and fast.
He ran a 4.37
straight line. Who?
Keaton Mitchell.
Keaton, okay. But no. They're not saying Keaton ran 4.2. They're saying they ran 4.2 in the chat. Like I don't know if it was World Class. No, not World Class. It was that Ravens guy said he ran a 4.2.
Hey, what you doing in the chat if you running 4.2?
We're gonna need some video.
we need you on Thursday if you run 4.2.
Yeah.
Did you run a Cat Williams? Was that Cat Williams 4.2?
Cat Williams run cheek to cheek, straight line. Let's keep rolling. All right, real quick on this one. Which players on defense stood out to you or still need work? And I put a picture of Mike Green up there because everybody knows he got his first sack this week. We'll start with you, Jose.
Malachi Starks.
Okay. Stood out or need work?
Needs work.
Okay.
Needs work. I think. Listen, I don't have much criticism of anybody in this game, right? I think everybody did a solid job. Malachi Starks. I mean, you at the point now. I mean, you got to start making some plays. You're brought in a high pick to be an impact player. You got to make more of an impact out there. You're not a detriment out there, right? That's good, but you gotta be more of an impactful player. Who stood out? That dude right there, Mike Green. I was pounding my chest. I said, hey, I know he's the man right now, right? That's why I said when he got drafted, I just like he felt like that type of player. It took him a little bit longer. It took a little bit longer to get there. So when he got that sack, I jumped out my chair. Right, I hope he continues it. I feel like he's almost there, Coach. I feel like
I feel like that too.
He's figuring things out, and you're going to see a lot more of those sacks coming down the stretch.
Gotcha. I agree. Sutton?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of have two things for Mike Green. I mean, definitely stood out to me. Definitely, I still think needs work. And when I say needs work, I mean he needs weight. He needs to put on some muscle because while he does have a natural raw talent at just rushing the passer, like the move that you saw he gave the left tackle to get to Caleb Williams, man, that was a beautiful move that generated pressure. I don't want to say instantly, but pretty quick. Damn quick. But on the following drive, there was another rep that he had where he just went with a straight up bull rush. And not to say that he, got stonewalled on the bull rush, but he definitely got to his target location a lot slower, right? So I think that he's halfway there. He's going to start to get more comfortable just using his raw pass rushing ability. But if he can put on some weight, and I think, of course, that'll be an off-season thing, he could come back and potentially be a premier edge for us. Now, another thing I'll say is that, offensive coordinators are already respecting him. The amount of times that we saw him get double teamed and chipped and things like that, man, the future looks bright for Mike Green. I just think he got to put on some weight.
Chris?
I thought Kyle Van Noy had a good game. It didn't stand out in the stat sheet, but he was doing a lot of dirty work. a lot of dirty work. And when you watch him take on pullers, the guards that are pulling, man, does he just destroy them. And it opens up so many things for the linebackers or even the defensive tackle to clean things up. Um, so I definitely thought he stood out. Obviously, Kyle Hamilton. I mean,
Mhm.
duh. Uh, just wherever you put him, he's gonna ball. You know that's what we come to expect from him, and he's just the way he approaches the game, the way that he sees the game. It's just you can see that there's a lot of preparation that goes into it. A lot of preparation, a lot of just instincts that he uses. He was all over the place that game, and shout out to him. And I kind of like what Jose did, just somebody who stood out, but not in a good way. And it hurts. I mean, I wasn't a huge fan of his, but it just hurts to see him this way. Was David Ojabo.
Mm.
It's just zero juice, zero spring in his step. And like I said, I wasn't a huge fan of his when he was coming out. But to see a guy who was so athletic just a few years ago and for it to just be zapped away, like there's no juice to his game whatsoever. And you feel bad for a guy who's so young and has gone through two major injuries like that to just see his athleticism zapped like that. So it's a shame, but that's why we're talking about possibly adding another edge guy. So,
Care.
I'm gonna go with a boring one, man. Chidobe Awuzie.
Okay.
Solid, dependable. Nothing stood out. As far as anything crazy, but I thought he was solid and dependable before the injury. Coming back off of the injury, like the defense just need players that you can trust, and they're gonna be where they're supposed to be. And he's one of those dudes. Gilman, they brought him in. He's been one of those dudes the last 2 weeks, and it makes a difference on your defense. Woozy, I think, is a guy that can play inside or outside. And again, just guys that you can trust. I think, especially on the back end, I think helps the big picture. It helps everything kind of come together when you got guys out there that are going to be where they're supposed to be and can help the younger players get where they're supposed to be. So, shout out to him.
I was going last because I expected somebody to say my guy, but they didn't. Got darn Travis Jones.
Oh yeah.
Travis Jones was cutting up.
Yeah.
Like I did the video on Travis before we got on here, but and it got clips from each game. But when I was just looking at the 15 run snaps or 17 run snaps from this game, 14 of them run snaps he dominated. 14 of them, and he was and if he didn't make a play, he made the play so somebody else can make the play. If that makes sense.
Yep, muddying up the trenches, you're shedding this guy at the right time, filling those gaps. I love what I saw from Travis Jones, man. And that's why I think that's another reason why I think that, hey, look, man, no more Nnamdi Madubuike for the rest of the season for sure, but potentially ever. I think it's time to go get another big boy on the interior D line.
Because he's to me, he's playing well with Jones, and Jones is 35. Jones was like, if I had to pick a second guy, it'd be Jones because of how they kind of manned the inside after them first two drives and didn't let them, because they was driving, running the ball, and they was using play action. That's how they got a lot of them yards them first two drives. Well, when Travis and I just called his name, John, whatever.
John
Jenkins.
Jenkins. When they got their bearings about them, that run game kind of stopped. And so then you had Caleb in straight drop back situations, and then sudden somebody kind of showed they face Sunday.
Who's that?
Easy. It's your term. I'm gonna let you say it.
Oh, exotic Zach. Oh man, no, look. I'm still. I tried to delete that from my mind, especially while these Ravens were under 500, well under 500. I got to see a little bit more. Okay, I got to see a little bit more. And here's the thing. Let me say this because I've been thinking about this all day. This Dolphins game coming up, I don't want to say it's a trap game, but I will say this: the Dolphins, and specifically Tua Tagovailoa, gets the football out the second quickest in the league, only behind Patrick Mahomes. If you know that the Ravens are 26th or 27th in the league in pressure rate, that's not a good formula. That ain't a good mix, right? So I don't know if Kyle Hamilton's going to be as effective as he is kind of around the line of scrimmage, because Tua gonna get that ball out.
Yep.
You're gonna get that ball out. So causing havoc in some of those exotic looks. Exotic Zach, he has a chance to prove it Thursday night in Miami. I'm sure y'all gonna be there, right?
I am.
You gonna be there? Okay, cool. Yeah. I think Engraven gonna be there too. I want to say.
He told me
Yeah,
he was. Yeah. Yep.
That's
I,
what's up.
I wish I was going to be down there, but not for the game.
And what might you want to be down there for, sir?
Hey man,
Same date as on your Instagram.
That's Ravens After Dark.
Jose, that's an overtime show.
Hey, Chris sound like he trying to take somebody through there.
Hey, what's that?
Oh my gosh.
I hate that damn dance. I hate that damn dance, boy. I get tired of seeing that. Any beat come on and jokers go crazy. Like, do something else. Do something else. All right, so we're at the 7 o'clock mark. So we got a few more questions, but I'm gonna go past them because I want to get to the fun question. And this, me and Sutton talked about this when I jumped on with him, if I'm not mistaken, last week.
Yes, sir.
Wait. Say what now? Say what now?
Oh shit.
Say what now?
PDSQ.
Say what now?
All right, man.
All right. I saw that comment. So the last one. So like I said, me and Sutton talked about this while I was on his show last week, and so we got 5 different personalities up here. And chat, I want you to join in on this as well. And chat, when you put your answers in there, number them 1, 2, and 3. All right. So the question is, because we got a vast variety of personalities here, your 3, and for the young folks, album means CDs. Your 3 greatest of all time, and not necessarily like you think this is the greatest album because of this, like to you, because nobody else may not like it, but your 3 greatest albums of all time. And I'm excited to hear Kerry, so I'm gonna start with Kerry.
All right, I'm gonna stay in my rap bag because if I went R&B, we'd be here forever. So I'm gonna just stick to rap.
It ain't gotta be rap. It don't.
Well, I got my 3. My 3 rap ones is pretty easy. Easy 3. I don't have to really think too hard about it. First is Track Called Quest and Midnight Marauders. Came out on my birthday, like just locked in with that album. Just that album means something to me, means something different to me. Second, Mama Said Knock You Out album, LL Cool J. I know it's gonna be some people too young to really know that LL was that dude.
It was.
But that's second. Third is B by Common. Just absolute classic, no skips. So that's my 3 right there.
All right. Any certain order or just 3 your top ones?
Not in any particular order, but definitely those 3 stand out, amongst the rest of my faves.
Gotcha. Jose?
It depends on what day you ask me. This list will change. It can change any day you ask me. But here's what I'll do. I'll do 1 R&B, 2 hip hop albums.
Okay.
Anita Baker's The Rapture. That's my favorite singer of all time. I named my daughter after Anita Baker. I love Anita Baker, so she's always going to be on my list. I'm going to do Things Fall Apart by The Roots.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then AT Aliens from Outkast.
Good one. Chris?
I'm gonna say The Love Below. That one was like a little special time in my life, and when I hear the songs from that album, like it takes me back to that 04, like around Thanksgiving time, like it was that brings me to a certain place. Then
vividly, huh?
Yeah. And then another one that's like on the other side of the spectrum is DMX is Dark and Hell is Hot. That's another one.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
And then Thriller. Thriller is one I grew up with, and then also just kind of like over the last couple of years reliving it with my daughters. like putting them onto it, it kind of
Mhm.
like reignited. Like, damn, Thriller was the shit. Like, you know, like
There's some
yeah,
bangers on there, boy.
some, man, the whole damn thing. You go through it, and it's just banger after banger. So yeah, I would say those three.
All right, Sutton.
I love these albums that you guys have listed. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I do have one in common with Chris, and that is Thriller. Of course, just an overall classic. I grew up with it. I think when did Michael Jackson die? What year was that, guys? 06, 05,
Don't make
something
me
like that.
Like
I
09
figured
or
out though.
something. 09 or
Yeah.
2010, something like that.
Nah, wait, for real?
Yeah.
Dang. Okay. Well, yeah. 09, 2010. I remember when he died, right? That was when I
09.
actually. Okay.
June
Yeah. 09. That's
25th,
right. That's right.
09.
I was actually at my grandma's house when that happened. And like all I can remember is like me going and buying the album off of iTunes because I didn't have it yet, right? I listened to it, I heard it around because my parents played it as I was growing up. But then I just kind of got into all the songs myself, and like that's just a classic album. I'll never forget about that one. Rest in peace, Mike. My second one, I'm gonna go with a Kanye West album. I'm gonna go with My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. This one came
The
out
one
in
start off with
2010.
Nicki.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah,
that one too.
yeah. It's got Nicki on it. It's got Rick Ross on it. It's got a lot of good names on it. But that one, the reason why I like Kanye so much is real quick is because he makes like kind of like that iconic, kind of like that epic music. That music that you could hear, you could bump it in your speakers on your way to work. You could, play it on vacation. You might hear it in a movie. You know what I'm saying? That's why I like Kanye West music a lot. So My Beautiful Dark Twisted is up there for me. And then my last one, I'm gonna go with one of my favorite rappers. I'm gonna go with Drake. I'm gonna go with Nothing Was the Same.
Okay.
That one came out in 2013, I believe. And that one was just kind of like a very interesting, like kind of like what Chris said, one of those blasts from the past type albums. You can really go back and feel some of those times, right? Nothing Was the Same was a big album for me because he talked a lot about, how people are going to treat you in life and like how you should move and like things like that. I took a lot from that album on top of it being like heartfelt on top of that. So those are going to be my top 3 favorite albums. That's for sure.
Now this is an honorable mention for me. It's not my favorite, but it's not in my favorite top 3, but that Kanye West 808 and Heartbreaks, where he did not rap and he did not curse. All he did was sing the entire, like, whatever. I say love that. Love it. There's a story where, and keep in mind, there's a long intro on one of the songs. I forget the name of the song. And so I'm in New Orleans with one of my coaching two of my coaching buddies. And so we pick up the third guy on the street, and that's going on. That song is playing whatever the long intro is. Because me and my homie, we like both of us love that CD. And the dude go to change the song, and he slapped his hand. He like, hell no, let that beat ride. So we riding through New Orleans with that going on. But my top 3, and these are from 3 to 1. Southern Playalistic Cadillac Funky Music. That's Outkast. That's Outkast's first CD. And I say it's major play in my ride still. Number 2, the Black Album, Jay-Z. The Black Album by Jay-Z is one of my favorites. And I could have went Blueprint there, but I like both of them a lot. And number 1, I know my wife probably laughing if she watching, because my number 1 will never change. It's Confessions. I can listen to Confessions all day, every day, twice on Sundays. I love me some Confessions, boy. Like love Confessions. Even like my wife gave me a birthday present, took me to Vegas to see the show, and when he did the residency. I love me some Confessions. And
you fed you a cherry?
Did he feed me a cherry? No, sir. We were not that close. We were not that close. Like, the question is, would I have eaten that cherry? Please plead the 5th. But yeah, that was fun, and to see that, and it's interesting to hear the different like, I ain't gonna say eras, but the way 5 different guys enjoyed music. But it's similar, but it's different. Because to me, Carrie's thing was more of his, and correct me if I'm wrong, Carrie. It was like, these are the songs I fell in, these are the albums I fell in love with when rap was taking off, and they still your favorite.
Yeah,
that's what I kind of got out of that.
That's exactly what it was. Yeah.
And then with mine is, even though I like rap, I'm I'm a fan of the hardcore, but I'd much rather some nice R&B and with some rap in it. And that's kind of why I rock with Drake like that, because I ain't the hardcore who said Common? Carrie, you said Common?
Yeah, that was
My
one,
wife
yeah.
probably was laughing because she know I can't stand Common. and not because of nothing he did. I'm just not a conscious rap person.
Right, yeah.
Which is it kind of falls in the line with me liking Drake and not really, the other dude has some hits, but that's kind of you kind of see what that, because I like music to make me have a good time. I don't really care. I care about your message a little bit. I want to have a good time. I want to listen to your music and turn up.
I will say this, like you mentioned, I think you said the Black Album, right?
Mm-hmm.
Me personally, I've never been a big Hove fan. I just haven't. I don't know what it is. I grew up on it. That's for damn sure. But it's like every time I like try to break down and listen to his lyrics, like I know a lot of it is like, street rap before street rap became what it came today.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, I feel like a lot of his biggest records, he was kind of carried by the production. That's just me. The beats is always crazy on all of his biggest songs. You know what I mean? And then when you put him side by side, like for example, DDSQ said in the chat, he agrees Hove is overrated to me. I agree. Look at Watch the Throne when him and Kanye went bar for bar, right? On a couple of different songs. I had Kanye winning that battle, man. So it's just like, I don't think Hove is a bad rapper, but I definitely think that he's a little bit overrated.
That's agreed. I mean, I didn't say agree. That's opinions, and that's what makes this conversation always good when level heads can go back and forth. Because I disagree, but I do understand where you're coming from. But for me, like I said, my taste buds are a little bit older, if so to speak. And so Hove was like really popping when I was popping myself. So like it kind of stuck with me. Like I remember listening to the Blueprint for the first time, listen to the Blueprint. You'll never guess what was going on my first time listening to the Blueprint. 9/11. And so it stays in my head. So I'm driving to school because I had to commute.
That's the day it came out.
Yeah, exactly. I'm driving to school because I had to commute. I got the CD early, and so listen to it on the way to school. I think my commute was like an hour and 45 minutes, and I'm listening to it. I listened to it like 2-3 times before I get there, get to campus, and they say we under attack. And I went to the cafeteria, and the 9/11 stuff was up there. But I'm a music head. When I'm in here doing stuff, I'm listening to music. I just when I'm in the class, when the kids doing whatever, I'm listening to music. I just love listening to music, and I'm open to a bunch of different stuff. Like some kind of country is starting to get in my rotation. Like I love Shabuzi. I don't know how y'all feel about Shabuzi.
I think you make good music.
And then after the Texans game last year, when Beyonce did the performance or whatever, I went back and started listening to some of her stuff because of that performance. Some of that ain't bad.
Yeah.
Then it's a couple country songs from traditional country artists that I really mess with. Not a lot, but it's a couple country songs I listen to. And then, but blues, my tolerance for blues is low. But what I will tell you, live music, I love. It could be I'll take live blues in it. I just love live music, like being in an environment where you can, get some food, maybe some drinks, and just listen to people play instruments. That, like, we went and saw the Morgan Freeman has like a jazz club in Clarksdale, and he basically put the performers in his jazz club in front of the Florida State Symphony, and they were playing blues stuff. They even played y'all seen Sinners?
Yeah.
The song that he sings when like it goes back through all the different roots of music or whatever. They play that was one of the songs they played, and when I tell you, hearing that with that symphony behind it, it was awesome. And like I would close my eyes so I could so I could focus on the instruments in the background, and that was an awesome experience. Kind of similar to, I think, what's the dude that made BBL Drizzy? What's his name?
Metro Boomin
did something similar with the symphony, and I found it on YouTube shortly thereafter. It's amazing. I'm a fan of live music, so that's kind of a little bit of my music taste in a nutshell. Probably a little bit rambling a little bit, but it is what it is. So, man, I appreciate y'all for coming through. I appreciate this, and what we used to do, and I had kind of forgot about that. Sutton mentioned it to me. We always end the show with some kind of question that's not sports related. So we'll try to continue that trend. If any of you five guys have something you want to send me for that, feel free to do so. And even chat. If y'all got a non-football something y'all want us to talk about at the end of the show, send it. And if it's a good one, we'll shout you out for sending it. We'll pick your question and we'll go from there. But on that note, Sutton, let everybody know like what you got going on the channel and the actual times you guys do stuff.
Yeah, so Purple Rain Podcast on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. We go live every Monday and every Thursday, previewing and reviewing every game at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It'll be no different this week, so come check us out.
Jose, you and B?
Yes, me and B do the lunch break hot take LBHT show every Wednesday night at 7:45 p.m. Eastern Time, and we followed up with the overtime show, which you can find on our Patreon, patreon.com/LBHT show.
What up, Nitro, for coming through? Appreciate you. Deep cover people. I'm gonna ask again. Like Mike say, I can ask. That don't mean I'm gonna get asked.
We ain't really talked this week. You know, Mike got all that money, man. You know, he been around the world, man. You gotta allow him some time to get, all the way back into the country and get himself, get his bearings straight. So, we're trying to respect his process right now. But Mike been balling lately.
Yep.
So I tell you what, I'll be the bigger person. I won't bother Mike tomorrow, and I let y'all do y'all thing. How about that? I open up a slot for y'all. I won't bother Mike tomorrow with Chalk Talk. Y'all can have Mike and do y'all thing if y'all see fit. Y'all have my blessing to do y'all own show. So with that being said, again, I'm extremely proud of this thumbnail, and this may end up being our thumbnail for a while because I don't know where this idea came from, but I just was playing around with stuff and did that, and so I really like that thumbnail, and that's where it's at. And so it's probably gonna be that for a minute unless I find another picture with them like gathered around and I can change it up. But I am the special teams tryout guy. Let's see. Lunch Break Hot Take and Deep Cover Podcast, the first round picks. Sutton is the potential number 1 or number 2 corner of the future. And so that's what you got, man. That's where we at. That's where we at. Hey, and shout out, free tars, man. Right. Free tars. Free tars. He didn't got blocked over there. We're messing with them folks. He didn't got blocked. Free tars. And on that note, man, peace and love, y'all. Make sure y'all go subscribe to everybody. The links are in the descriptions. And we'll see y'all next Tuesday, hopefully after a win versus the Dolphins on Thursday. Peace and love, y'all.
Peace.
Yes, sir.
Peace.